That against Elche, another win in the bag. But boy, this was an exhibition of misses, wasn't it?
Yeah, at one point I was really afraid it was going to be another Real Sociedad game, but not tonight. Not tonight. This was a completely different game altogether because we were dominant. I would say we were dominant against Sociedad as well to a certain extent, but not like this, right? Because everything on a normal night, Barca score 5, 6, 7 goals easy.
More.
Yeah, even yeah, you could easily say maybe more. Yeah, and that's how crazy is that when you score 3 goals and you say, "Well, it's only 3 goals." I mean, not many teams can say that. And when you score 3 goals, most nights you're like, "Oh wow, that was a great night for us." Not for Barca though, not for Flex Barca. 3 goals and maybe 10 big chances missed. I don't know what the actual number is, but over 5 or 6 xg. Insane, insane, Dev.
It was very, very, very unique what we saw today, and I don't know. I just felt that another day, another time, and you can get punished for these, and you
Oh
can
yeah,
really suffer. And while it was incredible that we could carve open, at will with the third man runs and everything that we saw on display, so that's really working. But the fact that we couldn't put them to bed, yes, you can say that these things happen in football, and there are these days when it just doesn't go in. So yeah, probably that's true. But boy, that was yeah, it was something.
yeah. I think to your point, you can't do this every time, and luckily for us, or luckily, in football, it's just I don't think it works. You can't do this every night, like every week. You can't do this. I'm not saying you can't create this many chances. I just don't think it's possible for us to keep creating so much and missing so much, right? At one point, it will have to balance itself out, and if you keep creating this much, eventually you will score goals. It's a given, right? Especially for this Barca that knows how to score goals. So I wouldn't be worried that this will become a trend, but we have seen it a couple of times in the last couple of weeks, and it is frustrating. But at least we know, okay, this team is actually playing so well that they are creating chances, for fun, essentially, and that means something. And yeah,
Yeah, I mean, this like for the stats buffs, it's about 6.3 xg with a goal output of 3, and then there are days when there have been xg is 1 and we have scored 4. So the
yeah,
inverse is also equally true, and we've seen that. What I do want to talk about is that I want your point of view. Like Eris Arabia,
yeah,
he could have gone home with 8 goals, honestly, and it would look very, very ugly. But he, kudos to him, or whatever you want to call it, like he stuck to his playing style.
yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
kept the high line. He knew he was getting breached time and again, which is what even Barca, go through. But he held on to that philosophy. He rode his luck. What would you call this? Is this strategy? Is this tactical discipline? Is this stupidity? Is that naive? What is it?
I would call it naive because he went for open warfare with Barca, and that's a stupid move. I don't want to call him stupid. I'm not calling him stupid, but I think it's not the cleverest move. Why? Well, we have seen teams can hurt Barcelona, but you cannot bank on Barcelona missing 10 sitters in a game. You can't bank on that. And essentially, what Eder Sarabia has done tonight, he said, okay, I'm going to go toe to toe with Barca, blow for blow, knowing that Barcelona's individual quality is far superior to his. So he's trying to do the same thing that we do, only with players that are 10 times, not 10 times worse, but much worse, right? And they are a very good team, and they stick to their guns, and they have only lost one game at home this season, Dev. So I can see why he was maybe even confident going into this game. But I just don't think it was the right move. Yes, teams can press Barca aggressively. Yes, teams can show courage and succeed. But if you're so outgunned, I don't think you can afford this. Now you're frozen, Dev. I'm not sure if you're still here or not. Oh, there. Yeah. Okay. Now you're back. Yeah, you were frozen. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I was frozen. I don't know what's happening out here. The stream got frozen. But you're right. I
Right.
could hear you. And you're absolutely right. This toe
Okay.
for toe, I didn't know what to make of it, honestly. I somewhere felt that it was I mean, I admired the courage. I really did admire the courage that, okay, he's not changing his philosophy. He's holding on to it, which is great. Flick doesn't change his philosophy. So, I mean, if you are being fair, you should give him that. But boy, they were being carved out absolutely at will.
Yeah. A different night, and you get sacked for these games because you can't concede 10 big chances and then hope the other team misses all 10. It just doesn't happen, especially against Barcelona. So I think for
This was at
these
home.
teams,
This is not even an away game. This is at home
yeah,
on
yeah.
the field.
And maybe that was kind of the thing why they were so a bit more courageous, because as I've said, they've only lost one game, and they managed to hold Madrid to a draw as well, if I'm not wrong, at home, and they gave us a run for their money in the first game as
In the first
well.
game.
So yeah, so I think there was a
That was
little bit of
much better. I mean,
overconfidence there.
compared to that, man, that game was far better than what we saw today. And that just, I mean, I couldn't, like, I like Sarabia. I like what he has done with Elche and so on and so forth. And I like the fact that he has a personality, even though we might not agree with it or whatever. But I like the fact that he has it. And
Hmm.
but today, I don't know. I like, yeah. I mean, it was.
Yeah. I think so. When you are, I mean, I get what you're trying to say, and I do agree. I think the coaches really need character. They need to stand their ground and say, okay, this is what I want to achieve with this club, and this is how I want to achieve it. However, when you are a smaller club, and I mean no disrespect, Elche are smaller than Barca, obviously, and you're facing Barcelona, you have to adapt. I mean, you can stick to your guns, and maybe on a different night, on a crazy night, you get a 2-2 result, or maybe
It
something
could have
even more.
happened. I mean,
Yeah,
they could
yeah.
have equalized, and we know that they were close to equalizing at least two times, and then it would look very different, the story and everything. And we have got to talk about our finishing, like Furman, Rashford.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's Furman still, but Rashford, man, you're playing on loan. I don't know. We'll talk about it. It was just, yeah, that just struck me very odd in terms of how there was no adjustment. At least, like, by halftime I was sure that he was going to make adjustments, but he didn't. Like, he went till the end with the same style. Like, doesn't matter, like, whatever happens, i'm,
Yep.
I'm going to fall on my sword and play. So I don't know.
Yeah, and it's not like Elche were creating a lot. I mean, they had their chances, but everyone gets their chance against Barca. You get a couple of chances at least, but they were not overly successful in what they were trying to do. Yes, it was an open game, and yes, they were bombarding forward a couple of times, but they have not created significantly more than teams usually create against us, I would say, overall. And that's with teams sitting deep and being very passive. Now, Elche were trying to be very proactive and very aggressive and very open and very, trying to be the protagonist even. And it didn't give them better results than sitting back usually does to teams. So I don't know. It just wasn't for me. Yeah, I think it was a miscalculation.
Yeah, that's what I felt. Anyway, let's talk about the misses, and here we need to talk about it. So the only criticism is that we missed too many chances. Everybody's on Torres, but Rashford, Furman, Rafinha all missed. Yeah, everybody missed chances. I wouldn't blame Ferran at all. I mean, if anything, Ferran got a goal in and scored one. There are many who didn't. So I wouldn't go on Ferran. He was very desperately unlucky. I think there was this one sequence where he shot, it hit the bar, came back again hit the bar. So yeah, I mean, you can't blame anybody for those. And I think Ferran did good what he was supposed to do, but I think everybody's missed. So it would be unfair to go on one individual person and so on. But that brings us to the eternal question: our defense. Dom. And how many goals have we conceded this season, even though we have an incredible shot stopper in in John Garcia? Just goes to show that you can have the best goalkeeper in the world, but if we play the way we play and the defense is not up to the task, we are going to ship goals all season. And it won't be the same as the Espanol version that we always dreamt of.
It's just there's a limit to what goalkeepers can do, right? I mean, what are we expecting from Joan Garcia? Because he's already his
You can run
highlight reel.
anything. You cannot
Yeah,
do
I know.
anything here.
Yeah. I mean, his highlight reel at Barca already is impressive. He's got such a catalog of shot stopping and ball playing, everything that it's really really impressive. but we can't really. That's why I keep going back to that. You can't expect Joan Garcia to be this hero every single day and do these impossible saves multiple times per game. Even for this goal tonight, I don't know. I mean, that was a great finish by Alvaro, by the way,
It
but
was
I
outstanding.
don't know.
It was really
Yeah,
outstanding.
yeah. So I don't know if Jean could have done more or not. Honestly, I don't know. It seemed that he was a little bit short on that. He maybe should have been positioned a bit better. I don't know, but I there's in many of these goals that we concede, you just can't ask Joan Garcia to even make the
It's not a
save
Garcia thing.
because
It's a defense thing. It's the way we play, and that's
yeah,
what I'm saying,
yeah,
right? Like it's every team or every player's playing or their what they achieve is so much dependent on the team that they play in and the way the team
yeah.
plays, right? And we take that completely out of the equation. Um, if this was a low black 5-man low block team, Garcia would have insane numbers every season after season, right? So but look at the number of goals we have shipped, and we are continuing, and we are going to continue to ship goals all season because this is what it is. Question is on the defense, right, Dom? And we talked about it slightly on our podcast, which will be launching, like I think today or tomorrow. But the defense has been a problem all season, continues to be a problem even now. Do you think with the changes and the new youth team hires that we have made suddenly in the last week, it's going to change anywhere? I mean, I like the fact that Hansi gave, time. They gave minutes to Banal. He gave minutes to
Yeah, again.
Casado. He gave minutes to Araujo to bring up their confidence and what have you. But I mean, the defense is a problem. There's no question on that.
I don't think at this point that anyone comes into this team, a new guy, and especially these youngsters, and suddenly fixes everything. I just don't think that's going to happen. And I don't think that the system is going to change drastically from now until the end of the season. It might change next season. It might get improved on for next season, depending on how the summer goes and who stays and who goes and in what shape and form we find the players next season. Because we don't know. I mean, Araujo could stay, but I don't know. It's a bit of a coin toss. Christensen can also be an asset, but is he going to actually be fit to play, or is he going to stay? I don't know. So we don't know in what shape we'll have defense next season. Cancelo is here, but he's not going to fix that, right? He might fix many other things, but he won't fix the defense, right? Um, so I don't see this being resolved in a significant way unless Barca can. I think Barca will have to rely on their pressing. That would be my answer. I don't think we'll suddenly improve going backwards or defending deep or anything like that. But if our pressing is on point and we can press without getting too exhausted and getting lacking intensity, yes, I think our defensive system can still work. So that I would work on that instead of trying to reinvent the wheel in the deep defending part of the things.
You're right. At least for this season, I would agree with you. Okay, we'll never be pragmatic on the flick. You should expect that. Probably, just like Edis Arabia, Flick will not change his point of view, and that's okay. And sometimes that will be amazing, and sometimes it won't be that amazing, and that's also okay. You take the good with the bad, but it does seem that with this, it will be challenging in Europe. It might not be challenging in La Liga. We might just go through because of our sheer individual quality. But in Europe, it might be difficult with that attitude. I don't know. That's what I feel. Somebody talked about they're feeling worried about Chelsea. Where was that comment? I want to pick that up. Hold on. Where was it? Okay.
Yeah, there was something. Yeah.
So we are worried about Chelsea. Honestly, I don't know. I don't think Chelsea play amazing football. I genuinely
Oh,
don't. Um, Even the last game that we lost to them, it wasn't that okay. They played us out of the park or whatever, and that they have like sparkling champagne football that's happening, and there's no criticism to them. It's just what it is. So they're a good team, just like Barcelona. On their particular day, they can defeat us, and on our particular day, we can defeat them. So it's just a coin toss in that manner. Um, Can we win against them? I'm pretty sure that we can with the team that we have and the resources that we have at our disposal. If we turn up, yeah, we can win easily. But will we? That's the question. If you go to Chelsea, if you go to Stamford Bridge and you miss 10 goals like did today, are we going to win? No, we're not going to win. All right. So it depends on a bunch of things. But Norm, your thoughts?
Yeah, kind of the same thing, but I don't know where this is coming from. Are we playing Chelsea? Is it even possible that we play Chelsea?
I don't know. Is it the Champions League tie? Is it
Uh,
possible that we can beat them again? I don't know.
I think they are on the other side, but then someone mentioned the rule of teams not being able to play the same team from the same country or something like that. In which case, if Newcastle draw Chelsea and they can't play each other, then we would automatically get Newcastle, something like that. I don't know. But I don't think we'll get Chelsea, not now at least. I don't think we can. We can get Newcastle, PSG, Karabakh, or Monaco, right? And then next round, but
Maybe.
maybe
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe. I
Yeah,
don't know. But either ways, I think
yeah,
whether it's Chelsea or Bayern or Arsenal or what, like take a name, I think we can win against all of them if we turn up.
yeah, yeah.
And we can lose against all of them if we sometimes do the daft mistakes that we do all the time. So I think it's just, yeah,
Yeah,
you just,
these Champions League games, we can't really start them flat anymore. We started flat against Slavia, we started flat against Copenhagen, and we were almost punished with both of
yeah,
those games. If we do the same thing against Chelsea
you
or
did. You're
Newcastle or
better.
PSG, yeah, yeah, just likely not coming back. We saw that already. So I wouldn't really. That would be my greatest worry. If we can start games well and create all these chances and be the dominant force, then yes, we can beat anyone. I think.
How is this, Dom? Like, I wanted to ask you, like, we see these games against Elche and some others in La Liga. I mean, I think it's a total washout. Like, it's a full domination from minute 1 to minute 90. And then we go to Slavia Praha, and we are, like, absolutely all over the place. And we go to Copenhagen, and then also we are absolutely all
Yeah.
over the place for 50 minutes, right? What is it in Europe that we are so, yeah, weak? Or I don't know. We just not come across as the same team. That's one. And second, there is obviously this talk about the quality of La Liga dwindling. There are so few teams that are qualifying into the top leagues, so top half of Champions League and what have you. Is it truly the quality thing? Are we really facing low quality opposition and thereby masking our actual ability, and that gets exposed in Champions League, or is it something else? What happens? Like, is Slavia Praha better than Elche?
I don't think it's a quality thing. I think overall, yes. I mean, the likes of the Premier League might have slightly more quality overall as a league, but then I think many of those Premier League big teams would struggle against many of La Liga teams because it's so difficult to beat these smaller quote unquote La Liga teams. Would they sit deep and the Premier League doesn't know what the real low block is. They have no idea, right? Until they face these teams in La Liga sometimes. So I don't think it's really a quality thing. Now in Europe, obviously, we do lack things to compete in Europe. Sometimes we do lack the intensity at times. We do lack the physical floor. We keep talking about that, Deb, and I think it is true. Sometimes it is the occasion and the context and the environment and all that. Because in Slavia, it was freezing cold. Our players were just stiff and nothing was working. Pedri was half injured. So I think sometimes these things compound and bring together a very unfortunate turn of events. But then something does happen at halftime. We don't know if it's Flick just shouting his lungs out in the locker room or if it's just the players need to warm up. Or maybe we just need that first goal to get the blood flowing. Because after the first goal, we play free flowing football essentially. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe a
Yeah,
combination of
it's a difficult one. Like, I mean, I would love to see this level of domination in Europe, but that seldom
oh yeah,
happens. Even if the
definitely.
team is weak, you'll expect that, okay, Barcelona will totally dominate a Copenhagen, but they didn't. They might have won 4-0, 4-1, but it wasn't a domination by any chance. So yeah, that just feels weird. Okay, let's look at the game stats for a bit, because that's interesting. It's really worth looking at some of these numbers.
The
So here is 62 to
eight,
39%, possession. You can see
yeah,
6.3. This is 10 big chances. I do feel that Elche had more than one, though. I definitely do feel that they had more
yeah,
than one.
probably more. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how they're analyzing these big chances, but I absolutely am sure Elche had about four that they could have buried with clinical finishing, and it would be very ugly for Barcelona. But it is what it is. Barca definitely had more than 10. If I calculate all the chances that all our third man runs and those slick passing was enabling. Uh,
Yeah,
but yeah, that's just basically what shows you. Goalkeeper saves two, goalkeeper saves, the rest. I mean, it's just, you can look at this timeline of relentless attack throughout the game. Um, and that's what made me feel that maybe Sarabia should have changed strategy at halftime. Maybe.
yeah, probably should have. Yeah, should have. And even he also scored in a very weird moment because it wasn't even a moment when Elche were actually trying to um, establish some sort of a proactive approach. They were mostly trying to survive, and then obviously they were trying to play openly as well. But it just, I don't know, that line there, the dominance really is, it really shows you. And yes, Woodwork three
Yeah,
times
it's
again.
right. Three times woodwork, shots of target 15, 30 total shots.
Yeah,
30. And you come like, that's a 10% conversion rate, 3 out of 30, right? That's how much we converted. Shots inside box, 26 of these 30 were inside the box. Like, I
wow.
mean, that's just some crazy stats out there in terms of, how much opportunity we had and what we could actually convert. Um,
Hmm.
and so on. And then you can see
Oh,
big
there you go.
it's
7 big
that,
chances missed.
right?
Yeah.
So it's yeah, I mean that, I mean it was nice for fans to see this, but it's not nice. I mean, if this happens game after game, and sometimes it does, then we have a problem. Then we really do have a problem. But it also, look at number of touches in the opposition box. Like, if you're creating this much, that's insane. That means the system works. It's just, today probably was one of those days when nothing went in. But it seems to happen quite often for us.
Yeah, in the last couple of weeks, we've had a couple of games that were exactly like this. But then, again, I wouldn't really take this as a bad trend. If we're creating
No.
these chances, I think it will. The goals will come, especially for Flick's Barca. I mean, if one thing we know about Barca under Hansi Flick is that they can score and they will score goals. So this is a good step. I think as long as we can win those games where we are super wasteful, obviously it won't hurt us. But then we just need to continue. Oh, look at that. Goals prevented. Joel
Yeah.
Garcia did yeah, so that I think
0.21.
yeah. So again, quite good. Mm.
So very interesting stats, even though it looked like a whitewash up there. Let's look at individual players. That'll be interesting. And I think overall, I think Torres had a good game. I think De Jong was amazing.
Oh yeah,
I think, yeah. I mean, Rafinha, Lamar, yeah, Lamine was outstanding, absolutely
he
outstanding.
was. He was.
Lopez missed a few, but he was set up,
Yeah.
I don't know, 10 times probably, and he missed it. And that happens from time to time. But again, I know we have these good rankings in the defensive part, but I think it is still a problem for us.
Yeah, Kunde, I don't know what happened to if is he really injured? Probably yeah, because he did ask for that substitution. So I don't know. I think Balde was really good. I liked Balde. He was really in sync with Rafinha and Olmo. I think that triangle there and the combinations that they did and
Correct.
how they evaded the man marking and then just ejecting players, that was phenomenal. And I think the 6.3 on Olmo, it is a bit harsh. Even with the assist to be that low on the ratings, I don't know what has caused that because I don't think he was bad. Um
Let's talk
I
about
don't know.
Rodriguez and Silva. I quite like both of them, actually. Is there a chance that they can move up into bigger teams over time? Do you think?
Oh, Alvaro will move. He will move
It was really
definitely.
good. It was
Yeah,
really good.
no,
The
no.
movement.
Yeah.
He was really good.
I,
Like,
I think for Alvaro, it's just a matter of time. I mean, people are saying he's a Madridista. He won't move to Barca. And I don't know. I mean, from these youngsters, how old is he? 20?
but I just don't see him in Elche for a very long time. I just don't
No,
see
no,
that.
no, no. I don't think so. Especially if this keeps up, obviously, uh, these developments are not linear. But if he keeps this up, I mean, he's not staying there. Absolutely not.
Yeah, that's what I felt. It was quite interesting when we watched the game from that perspective. Anything else in numbers that we want to talk about?
I don't know. I think Lamine Yamal, that rating is so high and so
That's
deserved
10.
as well because yeah, he's. I think at this moment,
Absolutely. Let's go
that's
to Lamine.
yeah.
Let's
at this very moment, this post Pubalgia Lamine that has been rocking every single game in the Champions League, La Liga, whatever he won. This guy is the best player in the on the planet right now.
At
I
this
think.
moment, yes. At this
Yeah,
form,
yeah,
in this form,
yeah,
playing the way he
yeah,
is,
yeah,
absolutely outstanding today. Absolutely
yeah.
outstanding today. And it's so lovely to watch at his age, what he's trying to do and what he's doing consistently. Look at the dribbling.
Mhm.
Yeah, it just is a joy. It's an absolute
It
joy.
is. He is. He is. And he seems to be a bit more aggressive in the way that he attacks space. And I think one of the analysis that we mentioned on Lamine, actually that was in the ebook that we didn't publish. I we mentioned, guys, we talked about Lamine in one of the analysis, and we said, okay, he needs to attack the space a bit more. He needs to be a bit more aggressive in his movement because that will get him those goal scoring opportunities and hopefully more goals. And you need these goals if you're gonna be in this Ballon d'Or conversations and whatnot, and he seems to be doing more of that lately. And unfortunately, the state of football is such that you will need goals to be in those conversations, obviously. And Lamine is not a massive goal scorer, but he's now, I think he's got what, 8 or 9 goals. Is it 9 goals? I want to say. So he's getting there. I think he's getting there to a point where he's actually accumulating respectable numbers, which will help him in the overall perception, let's call it that way, because many people will say, "Oh, he's not scoring that many goals. He's not that good." No, this guy is the best guy, best player on the planet at the moment.
Look at his carrying capability. Was he fouled twice? He lost possession 26 times. But look at the total carrying distance. One. Look at the number of carries and the number of progressive carries. But what is incredible is his progressive carrying distance, right? So he loves, and he has his ability to take the ball, run at space, and this is what Tom you're talking about. He has to attack the
Yeah.
space, and you can see that in the numbers that he's doing that far more and doing that effectively. And because he has the dribbling, that was he was blessed with, he can.
Yeah.
That just makes him two things. It makes him incredibly nice to watch, right? It just
Mhm.
fun. Like anybody will love watching him play football. And the other thing that it does, it makes him so unpredictable in terms of the chance creation and the attacking that he can do, because and that's what Barca have done. You pair him with the likes of Dani Olmo
Yeah.
and Furman and what have you, and there's such great pedigree, there's such great passers, and they can unlock a defense in seconds,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And that's why our chance creation machine is like absolutely out of like it's just insane. But I mean, what a phenomenon at this age,
Yeah.
right? If he can do this level of carrying and dribbling and create so many chances.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a guy who's at the moment he's recovered from an injury that we didn't know was going to derail his career, or is he going to stall his career, is he going to destroy it altogether? We didn't know, right? But then he's recovered fantastically, and now he's dropping these master classes week after week. I want to say, because every week I feel like I'm saying, okay, this is Lamin's best game ever. Okay, this is no, this is Lamin's best game ever. So we keep saying that every week, and long may it continue. I mean, it's phenomenal. I mean, if we're gonna have a big run in the Champions League, which we don't know if we're capable of or not, but this guy will play a massive role in it. Absolutely will.
He is. So okay, we spent some time on the data. Let's yeah. I mean, but that just shows you what the game was like, and we saw it. So it's the eye test confirms what we see on the data. But okay, what are the other things that we can talk about? Let's look at some of the pointers. We
Yeah,
lack physicality and
yeah.
athleticism in Europe, which is why we struggle, especially when the opposing team matches technically. If we had athletes like Hakimi, Nuno Mendes, Davis, we would be unstoppable. Maybe there's a point of view, but we were lacking physicality all our, like, I don't know, forever. I mean, when was Barca physical? But that said, I don't know, like Busquets, and we talked about it, Dom. Like Busquets was not physical, but you can't really push him away.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. He's lanky, weird, but he will hold his ground. And yes, you're right. We do get absolutely bullied off the ball consistently. You're absolutely right, KG. And that does affect us. But I mean, are Barcelona suddenly going to become a physical team? I doubt that. But Dom, what's your thought? Or should we
Oh
change our
no, I mean, I would. I mean, ideally, you can inject some of that into the team down the spine, particularly if you do have someone who's, let's say, more physical. I mean, people keep saying Onana. next to
Yeah.
Pedri and Frankie. And yes, I mean it would work. It would work if we had a Declan Rice. You put a Declan Rice in this midfield next to Pedri and De Jong, you have the best midfield on the planet. Like
But
nothing
would it
comes close
fit
to that.
though? Would a Declan Rice with what we have? I know we talk about this hypothetical situations where we can get a better player from somewhere. A Van Dijk comes in, or Saliba comes in, or Declan Rice comes in. But would he fit in this structure, in the way Flick plays, in the way we play? Would it actually, make us some of our parts, or does it
I
actually
think
work?
so. I think so. Yeah, it does work because Rice he's not overly progressive and overly. He doesn't have the volume that our players have, but that's just a also part of the role and part of the system that Arteta plays, obviously. But he wouldn't have to be that player in the system because you have Pedri and Frankie, two metronomes on the ball. You don't need the third player to be the same as them. Of course, he is comfortable on the ball. He can still play with the ball at his feet, but his strengths lie elsewhere as well. And I think that complements or maybe fills the gap that Frankie or Pedri cannot fill. So I think it would work actually. But then we do have Bernal at this stage who's trying to do this similar thing to Busquets, or maybe he's a Rodri in some sense as well. And you mentioned it, Dev. Busquets was never strong, but he was very good at avoiding contact altogether. And Bernal seems to be able to do the same thing. He takes one touch to completely flip the direction of the game, right? And that is massive when you're being pressed, trying to be when teams try to suffocate Barca. We keep saying it, but teams press Barca, we struggle. But if you have a player who can completely annihilate that pressure in one touch or one twist of the body, that solves a lot of problems. It also removes the physicality factor because you don't have to scrap with them if they can't touch you at all or can't get to the ball at all. So it's one
But I
way to
think
look at it.
Teji, you've answered the question yourself, right? And the point is that you need physicality if you don't have the technical skill. We used to have the technical skill, which we don't now. So to compensate for that, probably we need more muscle in the middle. But if we did have that level of technical superiority, you can possibly mitigate for that with that skill set that you have, which we just talked about, right? So yeah, I don't know, but whether we have the money to go and buy physical players, no idea. Whether some of these, amazing transfers that we are
Moha,
pulling off for from wherever, and
yeah, yeah,
all these new names that are suddenly coming into be, if they become diamonds in the rust or what have you, and they come and hopefully solve some of that. Because somebody said, who's the nine for us, realistic? Well, Hamza Abdul Karim by profile should be a perfect nine for us. Absolutely perfect. Just look at his, highlights reel. He's like amazing, like big, strong, aerial, can hold, can play off the shoulder. He should be perfect for us. But will he? Will he? I don't know. So will it's just one of those things that there's an understanding that there's a need for that, but do we have the money or the resources or capability to pull that off in the recent future? I doubt. I doubt that.
yeah, probably not. So that's why we are going down this route of okay, we're accumulating all these youngsters, and maybe one of them works out. If they don't, we can flip them. So it's a win-win kind of. But I do want to go to KG Leon's comment a bit more there because I don't think I would agree, Leon, with the fact that we don't have technical superiority. I mean, look at Pedri and De Jong in that midfield. Yes, we don't have Pedri at the moment, but when Pedri and De Jong are on the ball, no one can touch them. There's not a single midfield out there that's more technical than this midfield. So I don't think the lack of technicality
But
is an
is it
excuse.
comparable to the golden generation? That's what we
I
make no
mean,
mistake,
oh
right?
yeah, that's
We obviously
see,
compare, right, to the past.
yeah, yeah. The golden generation had three golden gooses or geese. We have two. So it's you're kind of missing one part to be able to make that comparison because at the moment we can say okay, Pedri, Frankie, and X are against Busquets, Xavi, Iniesta. It's not you can't make that comparison. Absolutely cannot. But then Bernal into this play, and of course I'm so sad that he got injured when he did because he was on his way. Like
Gavi
with another
was Gavi. If he
El
had
Gavi as well.
continued,
Yeah, yeah,
he
yeah.
was
So I
on a
think
roll at that time. It's so sad that he went through what he did.
yeah. So Gavi and Bernal, I think both of them is unlucky because we are not. I honestly don't think we're lacking technical ability. We're not. But we just have not been able to complete this midfield and play with a midfield three, um, for a significant portion of any season where they're all healthy and all playing at a high level. It's a bit sad, yeah.
Yeah, Valley. Happy that you're here. I was wondering where you went. And yes, that was a basketball. It could have been 195. It would have been that. So yes, that was a basketball game tonight. But yeah, and yes, they were sublime. Frankie, Balde, and Lamine were absolutely sublime. You're absolutely right. Half the team was sublime, but um, we keep having these situations where our finishing hasn't been, and sometimes it does go like that. So nothing much to talk about. 3 points, that's what matters, and that's what we got. Let's talk about the Champions League a little bit, because we talked about the draw or the tie. Dom, who do you feel that we are facing? Is it Monaco? Is it Karabakh? What do you feel?
So there's two games that we have to keep an eye on. That's PSG are they facing Monaco and Newcastle facing Karabakh, or is it the other way around?
And
Realistically, it's going to be either Newcastle or PSG. Right? I think that's what's going to happen. And then if I had to put them in some kind of an order, obviously PSG, you want to avoid them as much as you can. Obviously, yes, we are aware that you at one point you have to face all these teams. So we're not running away from them. We're not scared of them. But if I'm making a list of teams that I would not face, then PSG, Newcastle, and then Monaco and Karabakh. So Karabakh would be on paper the easiest, obviously here. Monaco can be tricky. We've experienced that on our own skin already, so we know what it's like. And then Newcastle, we know we can beat them, but they're still tricky. They're still vertical, physical. They will scrap with you. They will battle it out. And we did need two Rashford wonder goals to beat them.
yeah,
So it wouldn't be easy. And PSG, they've already beaten us. Now, PSG are not in the best of shapes, and we are much different now than we were back when we lost to them. So that's the flip side. But I still would not prefer to face them.
yeah. So if it's PSG, Newcastle, and Tottenham, Liverpool, as many people are saying, including Manley, uh, yeah, I mean, it is possible to go all the way with the squad that we have. I think I would take these teams over this season over an Arsenal or a Bayern, which is great. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think we are facing them before
Until
the
the
final.
semis.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or the semis or the final. So I think we have a good opportunity to go all the way. And if we can, just continue a path that we have. But it's going to be difficult as well. If we face PSG are never easy. And even if we pass that over two ties, and then there's Tottenham or Liverpool. I mean, I know Liverpool's been hot and cold this season, but they're still a strong side. And I don't know about Tottenham. How are they this season? I've not watched enough of them this season, to be honest.
I would be decently confident we can beat them. I mean, with all these four teams, I think we can beat them. The problem is, three of these four teams are highly aggressive. They can be highly aggressive, and they
And they will hit
have
us on the counter with our high
yes,
line.
they have the players and the profiles to actually exploit Barca's flaws. That's the biggest worry here. And I do agree with Van Lee saying that the Arsenal are the nightmare matchup, but they are for anyone. That's the kind of thing with Arsenal. No one wants to face them at this point. But yes, they would. Oof, that would be a difficult game because
Yeah, they're
they're
amazing.
the
It's just that they're
yeah
so like it's just difficult watching them. It's just
yeah they're a mirror opposite in terms of style of play because they just can't seem to score open play goals to save their lives.
they'll
But
suffocate you. They will suffocate
yeah,
themselves as well,
yeah,
and then they'll find a set play from somewhere and bundle
yeah,
in a goal, and that's the game, right? And we know
yeah.
that that's the game, but it's just yeah,
It is, but the problem is, I think if we were to play Arsenal, every set piece would be a goal threat for us, every single one, because we can't defend set pieces and they can't stop scoring set pieces. So I don't know how that will go. I mean, it's a bit insane. But I do see that Van Lee is finally getting on board with praising Frankie De Jong. There you go, Van Lee. Welcome to the club. It's been a while, buddy, but I'm glad to have you on. He's seen the light. I did it. I did it. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding, Lanley. But yeah, Frankie was really good tonight as well. Yeah,
All
but
right,
not
let's keep going. What else is there to talk about, guys? I mean, this game was, I mean, yeah, it was just whatever. But definitely, as I said again, I mean, I like it as Sarabia, but yeah, that could have been ugly. That could have been ugly.
it, for yeah, it could have been ugly for him. And I like that point. Naki Pena, we just didn't want to embarrass him.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah, 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 could be with all the misses here. I mean, it is a bit weird, but um, I think once you leave Barca, it's kind of the love's gone. So I don't know. I think it was just a bad night of finishing, unfortunately. But Pena, yeah, got lucky there a little bit, I would say. But
well. We
it is
have
what it
1 week break, I think. Pedri, I still think it will be more than 4 weeks. So the team will have enough time to recover and then prepare for the onslaught in terms of the outcome of the playoffs and then who we play in the next round. That will be interesting. And then once we do that, I think in the league, our next 4 or 5 games are look easy. But how confident are you, Tom?
All right, let's see. Who do we? Oh, we do have Albacete first in Copa del Rey actually, and they have eliminated Real Madrid, so it's not going to be an easy game. That's on Tuesday night, and then La Liga. Let's see: Mallorca, Girona, Levante, Villarreal, Athletic Club. Okay, I think up until Villarreal, see. I hate saying easy, but it's not a bad run of games. It's not easy, but it's a decent run of games
Okay,
because you have
Albacete, we should be okay against Albacete, but in Copa del Rey, you never know actually. But I don't know.
yeah.
I'll take my
I mean,
chances.
I
Mallorca,
mean they
go ahead.
Albacete have eliminated. Oh, sorry, yeah, they've beaten Real Madrid, so you
Just
never
like,
know. They
yeah,
can, yeah,
so okay, this
yeah.
is a question mark. Mallorca, I don't know. Are they the same? I don't know.
Look,
Or
they're all
banana skin.
very bottom of the table teams. I think Mallorca are like are they last? No, they're not last. They're maybe second from the bottom or third from the bottom. Levante, they must be in the danger zones somewhere as well. I need to check now. Wait, standings, La Liga standings. I'm pretty
Girona.
sure uh, right. So we have Mallorca, Girona, Levante. I'm pretty sure that Mallorca and Levante are like down at the bottom. I think somewhere. Yes, they are. Mallorca is 18th. Levante is 19th. So they are the in relegation zones. Those two teams. So you have to beat
Okay,
them.
these three
Uh,
seem doable. Villarreal can be tricky, right?
oh yeah, they are. They are. They score goals for fun. Villarreal. That they really do. So I think they are the biggest one out of all of these. Villarreal, the strongest one. Of obviously Athletic Club, they are tricky, but they've not had a great
They've not
season.
had the
So
season. This
yeah,
season, I
yeah.
will take my chances against them. So, yeah, I think two tricky ones and three we can win. So hopefully it goes that way. But obviously, I mean, we're just conjecturing and so on. But hopefully that works that out. Now, um, that's it, guys. I think
Yeah.
great match
No.
again, and we'll be back again. Are there any things here? Thoughts on the army of 18-year-olds Deco has signed? Amazing Silent Business, the Belgian kid.
Just
Yeah,
wait for the
there's a
podcast,
whole
finally.
podcast on
Wait.
this. Whole,
Yeah, yeah,
we'll possibly do
yeah,
a
yeah.
more write up on this. So take a look because we are also equally watching it as interesting. Um, you know, we're watching it because I find it very interesting, and I discussing with Dom, and I think, and I was telling him that there are two ways that it goes. One is we uncover some diamonds in the rough, and they pay off, right? And then we look super smart because we got 50 million players, 50 or $60 million players for $5, which is great. Or we are just flipping them like on eBay. And Dom said it's like flipping them on eBay, that we buy them and we sell them 2 quarters down, but it's full profit. That's absolute FFP. And that's what they did last season. If you saw our books, $80 million in profit on sales, and you wouldn't have known the sales because it was like $5 here, $10 there, somewhere, $15 from some thing that was done 2 seasons ago, but there was a knockback effect. So Barca is doing that, but it was actual poor booked as revenue because there is no amortization. There's nothing, right? So obviously there are two plays to this, and they're doing this because let's be clear that nobody in Barca Twitter knew anything about these players. No one, right? All our famous tacticals, they did not have a point of view. So it just goes to show that they know more than we do, and obviously there's a strategy that's going in. Now, Dom, you want to talk about Pacifico and Onstein a little bit because we discussed him.
We can. I think what Barca are doing it's not random. That's the conclusion that we kind of came to on the podcast. And guys, I think we'll publish it tomorrow. Tomorrow,
Yeah.
Dev. Yeah, tomorrow. Log on to Fullback on Spotify, whatever you like to listen to it, or is it an Apple as well, right? So you can find it there. It's called Fullback if you're not aware of it, and we do it every week, like a short summary of everything that's happened over the week for Barca. And this week we'll talk about, or we have talked about, all four of the youngsters that we have signed or are chasing at the moment. The Pacific and Onsen, yes, two very specific. We felt it was very specific in the way that Deco has targeted these kids because they're not random players or random profiles. They're defenders, like left-footed defenders who have the physical presence, who have the capability to be stabilizer in defense and kind of stepping up and maybe even defending the high line and having that presence and being comfortable in a system that would kind of mirror flex system. And in that sense, it does seem like the B team is once again trying to mirror the first team in the way that, okay, these players would fit both teams. And then luckily, if you can develop them properly, maybe they start the B team, but then once they get to the A team, the difference or the stylistic adaptation period would not be as rough. In theory, they would just slot right in, and that's how we see it, guys. Like, obviously, we don't know much about these players, but on the surface and watching, very limited footage and data, and just looking at what they're like, they do seem to fit a very specific purpose in the first team as well, which is great to see. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean it's just how it is. And yes, Bispusu looks very good. He does. I saw his highlights reel. So
Oh yeah.
there are two more who are coming in, and we'll see. But there's definitely a change in Barca's scouting and player acquisition strategy. And either Deco will go down as an absolute visionary, or he will go down that was just pure. It just didn't work out. So we will see. We'll see over time what happens. And yes, my time zones are like this, but I like it because it's at night and I can watch all my games at peace, and then I can go about my life doing my work or what have you. So it's hard because it's like 4 o'clock or whatever, but I'm used to it now for, I don't know, 15 years. So we'll say that I'm used to it. But anyway, that's it, guys. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it as always. Look out for the as Dom said, the podcast and some of the other articles that we have been bringing out. There should be something around Rooney, and there is another article we are doing which is really large on the overall finances, on where we are. So yeah, looking forward to that. So hopefully you guys will have some fun and take
Yep.
care.